room full of green eyes, huh? So it's a good start of the Twitter space already.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool actually. Islam, we just got to get your green eyes on there as well, but it looks amazing.
Exactly. So for those who don't know what we mean by that or why we're having those green laser eyes, that's like us basically expressing um our like part in refi in regenerative finance, which has at its core to integrate ethical and social action into economic activities. So that's like something we'll be talking about today. I think it's already time to start officially. So looking forward
Sure.
to the space, and I'll hand over to you. We can also wait for a bit. Maybe there'll be a few more folks joining. If not, you can start as it's recorded, and will also be updated on YouTube. Yeah, you can re-listen to whoever joins it.
Sure, sure. Yes, I will definitely take it away. Hello everyone from San Francisco and happy Friday. I hope everyone's week was fruitful and your weekend is restful. As always, thank you for joining Menthol Protocol's weekly Twitter space. We've been very busy behind the scenes, and our team has been traveling the world, making valuable connections and spreading Menthol Protocol's vision, mission, and values, which we're going to revisit today as well. Our last space highlighted Amir's travels and the connections that he has made. We also took a step back to reintroduce Menthol Protocol and what we are doing within the Web3, blockchain, climate positivity, and refi spaces. Today, as I mentioned, we'll once more introduce our vision, mission, and values. I think it's essential for teams to continually revisit these tenets. Oftentimes, these tenets will evolve as well, but it's sort of a North Star, if you will, to remind us of why we started building in the first place. And we don't want to lose sight of that because oftentimes we are behind our laptops and our computers, writing our codes, reaching out to partners, endless meetings. I wish Amir would put a snapshot of the meetings that he has on a daily basis, and he's been traveling. So the team gets busy. But so it's always important to, revisit why we even started building in the first place. Some of Menthol Protocol's values are rooted in trust, community, impact, where we are determined to save our planet and want to employ the rest of the world to follow suit. Integrity is crucial, and accountability, where we as a team aren't just accountable for ourselves, but for Mother Earth as well. Of our core values, the one that I'm most passionate about is community. Coming from a small town in Hawaii, the community was and still is important. We often hear it takes a village to raise a child, and that is the case in Hawaii. I have a lot of aunts and uncles. My grandparents play that part, my parents. So community is very big where I'm from, as I'm sure it is around the world. So this is the one that sits with me. At home, we did everything together and built lasting relationships. Community is at the heart of my culture, and I lean into this here in the Web3 space, specifically when looking to address the climate crisis. This can only be done together, and I think we all know that. Community is key to growth in any arena, not just within the Web3 space or attempting to address the climate crisis. Everyone has something to offer and share. So here at Menthol Protocol, everyone is a core contributor. We come from all different backgrounds and we have all different levels of expertise, but together we are addressing the climate crisis. I found myself on many occasions being inspired by the Menthol team, which then gives me that extra push to continue our important work. I've been a little under the weather here, but I love the Twitter spaces, and it gives me an opportunity to speak to everyone, get our message out, and also hear about Amir's travels. That's always very fun. We aspire not just to build a green protocol, but we want to bring everyone with us. I think I could talk about community for hours, but I would also like to give Amir a moment to speak as well. Hello, Amir. I'll pass the mic, and I'm sorry if I was a little dry, but I'm very passionate about community. But I will pass the mic on to you.
Uh, Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. No, I share completely the, let's say, community as a very important core value proposition, or like, yeah, important part to think about. Like, visiting the first refi event in refi spring in near Lisbon in Portugal, I learned about regeneration as a concept in more depth while discussing the different dimensions around regeneration. And next to its economic and environmental dimension, community, or actually like maybe community and also the individual regeneration were discussed, and also very nicely lived over there. I think the awesome thing is that this is like just very normal for us at Menthol working together. So it's lovely to talk about the values. We um, had an article and also some thoughts about different values internally, discussed it shortly as we were kind of just living them and working hard on different areas around Menthol Protocol. But yeah, lovely to take now the time in this Twitter space and to talk about that. Now we haven't like got any announcement out yet officially, but we've been talking for a while about our beta, and we're happy to announce that we've basically started with our internal set of like partners and internal team members going to the testing mode. So we are happy to keep you in the loop in our next Twitter space where we go more into detail. But shout out to the entire team, especially to the tech team who have been working very hard on various aspects. And thanks also to our partners starting the auditing process. So now coming back to like a few agenda points which I have over here, which we can discuss. Happy to get any interruption and question in between. Is firstly, why are values important? Also, why are they important to brands and to organizations, even to communities? Going one level deeper into like, let's say, marketing and as a concept. How does regenerative marketing as a concept, already I found like some articles actually capturing this from 2010 without the blockchain dimension in mind. So that was something very interesting. And when talking about why values are important, why are values important for Web3? I think that's also something very interesting to talk about shortly. After that, a small recap on Menthol is called for, so that anybody new tuning in can get an understanding of Menthol Protocol and what we aim to do over here. Then, depending on how much time we have, we can make like a best case practice view of different organizational core values out there, and can, for instance, compare Menthol's first set of core values, of which we have not noted down all of them. We would have probably exhaustive list with so many people at Menthol and the respective values in different depths. But looking at Amazon's 4 core values, which they have like as an external core value guideline, also strongly linked to their services, their execution, and their branding and perception, but also about their 14 leadership values, which are rather internal values. So we can take a short look at them and mirror them against, what we envision in refi in general, but specifically in Menthol. So after that, we'd like to open up also, of course, in between to the community and to the people tuning in over here, so that we can discuss further values or sides from your side. So maybe I can just give it a start. Why are values very important? So basically, it's let's say the job of our in German we say Über-Ich, higher self maybe, to constantly challenge our values and our actions. So this should be like an ongoing process. That's what we are taught in our communities, I guess, all across the world. So for businesses in specific, or for brands, it's important for people to trust in values. This creates a strong foundation for not only a purpose-driven brand, but also a community behind that. So those are like short thoughts on why values are important. Now, when you take a look at different marketing concepts, there's one main marketing concept around my whole master's at WWU Münster in Germany, which was the market-oriented leadership, where marketing basically has the overall aim to align and to foster the resources and the skills within the organization or community and tailor that towards creating the biggest value for the customer. So it goes one step further than only taking a look at stake, like a shareholder value, where it's only about making money for the shareholders as fast as possible. So here it's more about the customer centricity at the end and creating their value. Now, regenerative marketing can be understood as one level more into that, where we, as also regenerative finance, captures Mother Earth and being a happy stakeholder towards of all ends. Regenerative marketing can be understood as also including social and ecological action, positive action into the marketing efforts at its core. So those are like different points which we can touch and think about when discussing values. Now, what are values for Web3? I think at its core, value and basically the community agreeing on this value is the core strength of Web3, starting with bunch of people believing in Bitcoin, right, and giving it monetary value, having many more other tokens coming up, where basically value behind those projects are shared in a more democratic way. That means everybody can access the token, also a small piece of it. If you want to basically be investor of SpaceX, I think you have to be an accredited investor. So those are rules which are out there also to protect the people, right, from let's say bad financial products which can be spread. But the new, let's say, innovations and relationships through Web3 and integrating values at its core is something really, really interesting. So maybe Ashley or anybody else, do you have like some thoughts over here on why values are important, which you want to add? I know we've been discussing it, so I took a few of your points already.
No, definitely. I think values are crucial, not just to any Web3 project, but as an individual. If we didn't have like a core set of values that we live by, being a good person, staying healthy, getting enough rest, it would kind of all be for naught. So, as I mentioned, growing up in Hawaii, community, we had a set of values, be kind to one another, always help each other, give the shirt off your back. And within the Web3 space, I feel it so passionately. Because we're all kind of in it together. And, just a side note, I'm taking a law and regulation and blockchain course. And, I feel like I'm the only one in there really speaking up about Web3 decentralization. And, the world as a whole still hasn't really jumped on, the bandwagon. And now when you try and introduce climate change, it's a fight, to say the least. But, when I refer back to the Web3 space and Menthol Protocol and the team, I know why I am doing what I'm doing. We're a community that shares in the same values. So I think it's essential. Again, it's a North Star. It guides us in everything we do. So values, personally, professionally, within marketing, it is a core tenet, and everyone has something a little different. You mentioned Amazon and their 4 guiding principles. And one of the first ones is that they're customer obsessed. And, they're not really focused on their competitors. And that's kind of similar to Web3 and, the projects trying to address the climate crisis. We need to kind of realign, and they're not competitors, because we're all trying to do the same thing, and together with shared values and as a community, we will be able to address this looming climate crisis. So values is at the heart of everything we do. So I honestly, I'm 100% behind strong values, whatever it might be for everyone personally.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Ashley, for sharing this. Is like it became more and more important in different areas, and it's expected more and more also in a verifiable way, where companies, for example, have corporate social responsibility, right? Which is being looked at from an investor angle, from the community angle, from even a partnership and supply chain angle. So we've got the powerful brands, and they will be forced more and more to disclose their supply chain, and like not only avoid, but perhaps also target certain social and environmental actions as their supply chain or their industry is basically causing. So in general, besides having values in corporations, also in political, let's say, systems, values should and are hopefully more and more center of everything. That's like coming, like spending most of my time and being mostly German, moving there by 1999, and spending a lot of time over there. My grandpa moved in the 50s already there. So identifying with Germany, and I'm very happy about Merkel being very value driven in her decisions, aggressively actually. Also, we're not being so aggressive in political movements, but let's not talk about politics, just about understanding that values are core of basically everything, which we should be doing. So I think that's a good roundup of values, and maybe it's a good time to start a recap on Menthol Protocol, like the problem we're trying to solve, the solution we have in place. Our values will be then further discussed after that. So Ashley, if you don't have any other point, I would just run down a small overview of Menthol Protocol.
No other points. I think I overdid it on the values. So please go ahead, Amir.
Okay. I'm seeing we also have not too much time left, so we'll keep it rather short here, as we had quite a few explanations of Menthol Protocol. But let's take a look at the current problem to start off with. We've got the global climate crisis, which is essentially a coordination challenge, which we have. Now, the strength of value-driven communities overcoming this communication issue powered by Web3 is why we have our green laser eyes on, and believe that economies can be rebuilt in a different way, also accounting for Mother Earth, but also for social action. Menthol Protocol's vision is to basically make sustainability or even regeneration, which is like having actually more value over time for the ecological and social dimension than just being sustainable. So making regeneration affordable, accessible, and integrated into everybody's life, actually into every economic transaction, is now possible through the tokenization of different impact tokens. So that's where we lean on the refi guardians when we are taking predominantly look at the ecological impact tokenizers. So shout out to Regen Network, Flow Carbon, Nori, Moss Earth, and many more, Carbonfi. So we very much look forward giving access with Menthol Protocol for any individual organization in a way where we match one-to-one with Amazon's first core value of customer centricity. So for Menthol, it's about giving a very easy access to any individual organization to capture their non-avoidable carbon footprint. Maybe later on also allowing them to support social actions in an automated way. The core product of Menthol Protocol is a cool pool. So a cool pool allows to represent an individual and organization. On the one hand, their carbon footprint, in order to be very, let's say, easygoing for the Web3 world and the developers out there. It's just about copy pasting a smart contract into the cool pool that'll allow us to calculate the carbon footprint on a continuous basis. Based on your setting or that of your community, we can purchase and retire environmental impact tokens to make you climate positive. Now, we know very much, or very well, that the climate crisis has a two-step approach towards, for betterment, or to basically ensure that our next generations have a healthy Mother Earth to live on. So this two-step solution is not done by buying carbon credits and compensating your non-avoidable carbon footprint. It's a very important step as a second step in order to accelerate climate and social impact. But the first step is actually reducing the carbon footprint through new processes, through new infrastructure, through new behavior. And creating awareness is always the first step. But then, of course, actions and hopefully scalable technology can play a good role in accelerating climate action. So this first step, everybody has to do. We're like a whole set of different players from different industries and coming along different phases or sides of the problem. But Menthol basically makes it super easy for everybody for the second step of taking responsibility in a very community engaging way. So this was Menthol Protocol and what we do. So sign up or message us if you want to be part of this beta phase going on. Basically starting, I think yesterday or today, I got involved as I was traveling here a bit. Now we've got some time left, and I would love to take a look at the best case practices of organization core values, starting with the classic as Amazon. So we can basically use this also to look at how others do it and maybe find similarities or something to add on. Ashley, do you have any add-on to Menthol Protocol, something which you want to mention? Because we have 3 core values: climate action, transparency, and incentivization. The latter two I haven't mentioned at all over here in this Menthol introduction. But if you want to keep it short, we can also continue to the best case. I'll keep it up to you, Ashley.
I think the only thing I'd like to add is that it is a very intuitive and easy to use protocol, by way of creating a cool pool. The tech team did an amazing job, and I think it's essential for any product to be user-friendly. And I just wanted to give a shout out to the tech team because it is very easy to use. Just wanted to highlight that. But I'll let you take it away, Amir.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for pointing that out, and being a platform and having a supply and a demand side, but also a side of value-added service providers who bring AI and machine learning into making the purchase and also the refi market more transparent and verifiable. We as Menthol see not only the user side as our actual users, but as much and maybe very importantly, also the supply side, because we want to make them have also the best experience and do a strong sales support by creating this demand-sided automation for basically suppliers in the first place. And we'll discuss more stakeholders and how we tailor towards them, but just wanted to mention that very shortly. So jumping into the 4 core values of Amazon, which they have as an external guideline and principles and for also brand association, is customer obsession rather than competitive focus. So as mentioned, we are very community driven in Web3 anyhow. Now, of course, there's harsh competition everywhere where there's money and loads of money and in a fast way. But this community driven and collaborative approach, also this multi-chain approach, which is clearly basically lived also as the future, shows that there's a strong push towards collaboration that anyhow happened with the event of Web2 industries who also work together more and more, right? Instead of collaboration and competition, we see co-opetition as a phenomena you can see. Now in refi specifically, one has to be very clear that this is actually also lived in a much more hardcore way of working together, because of this purpose-driven need towards fast climate action. So this is something, customer obsession or like refi stakeholder obsession is something which we definitely live. The second one is passion for invention. So what we're doing here is highly interdisciplinary, touching many different points from looking at the different stakeholders. So besides having all B2B and B2C markets, Web3 and non-Web3, and have not only traditional B2B companies like the, say, stock-listed companies, but maybe in specific also financial institutions which bring in money and create revenue streams for those environmental projects. Like this shows like that we have a very interdisciplinary like set of target groups also. And here the invention and passion for integrating Web3 at its core is a community-wide movement. It's not only what Menthol is doing, we're just enabling easy access to it, because the bet of many people is that Web3 will bring more security automation into the ecosystem. So passion for invention is definitely there at its core. Commitment to operation excellence. So we also have our Mert Gürkay in the call. He's basically ensuring and establishing operational excellence by not only taking a high-level overview together with us, together with the teams as our success manager, at the structures of, for example, how not only within marketing but also across towards sales and tech, we can also internally in those units set up efficient processes, starting with how we conduct our meetings, with which kind of preparation and what kind of output. And this is like great. So very happy that we can live this commitment to operational excellence, pushed by Mert Gürkay, pushed by Erhan and Selim, and actually everybody. So all of us are pushing towards that. Because it's important. Like I was having a very interesting discussion with a lovely gentleman, Rich, I met in Bali through our friends LNM, Light Note Media, basically being an investment committee of Animoca Investments and having had 8 startups and folk in China and also sold and whatnot. So very successful and hardworking entrepreneur, was basically explaining that the advantage of China, and that's why he also went there, is that what happens there in 1 year happens in the outside world, outside of China, in 4 years, because speed and at the end of the day, only possible through operational excellence, right, is key towards successful companies, especially startups. So also if there's a certain amount of being Web3 digital dynamic also in our doings, that's also as important as strong operational structures. So long-term thinking is the last core value of Amazon. So I think working towards the goal of having a long-term earth to live on is quite long-term. Also having it in a way where we embed ecological and social action, which are basically through the tokenization integratable like Lego into any real-world product service offering. So having economic growth grow hand in hand with positive social and environmental action, that is something which we have to do on a long-term basis anyhow, anyway. Everybody is trying to do that in a efficient way, right? There's a lot of charity, and so it's not all bad, right? There's also a lot of powers and like pushes towards more environmental and social action. The thing is now that with Web3, we can do it very, very differently. And this is definitely for the long term, but also for the short term, what we want. So now we only went around the 4 core values and maybe how we see it. We didn't go about the 14 leadership values. which are rather more maybe a menthol protocol DAO topic, where you can have a further discussion on that. We are set up as a foundation, so being a Web3 DAO, being part of the solution was very important for us. Also because of the lovely token-centric business models you can create, value-driven ones. So that's it actually. If we keep it on a short way, and happy to have anybody, Ashley, happy to have you reflect a few things, and also hand over to the community for anybody who wants to join in and join the discussion. Maybe add different ideas to other values which we didn't mention here in the short session over here.
Absolutely, Amir, and I agree. If anyone wants to propose, values, Daniel, who is our growth and community guru, he's very diligent about responding to questions, in our social media channels. So if there are any questions, again, as Amir mentioned, we're a community driven, we're a foundation. So, we're always open for new ideas and discussions and values and value propositions. It's a big deal. So I think keeping it short to let everyone marinate on, what we spoke about today, I think it's a good place to end.
Awesome. Sounds good. Then thanks a lot for this awesome session and for this jam, Ashley. This goal is on the basis of some lovely workshops we had internally discussing the different core values and what are important to our core contributors. So I'm going to meet you now. So looking forward to that, and looking forward to our next week's Twitter space.
Terrific. Hello, Miche, Islam, Moji, Baba, and Daniel, and Mer, and thanks everyone for joining, and those that are going to listen to the recording. Once more, please send us your questions, and have a great cup of coffee for me in Bogota. Miche and Amir.
Greetings. So also shout out to Ümit. Warm regards from Bogota.
Terrific. Bye-bye.
Bye.